Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. A really cool card just got revealed this morning. It's a brand new, technically generic Synchro 8 monster, but this card is essentially just Centurion support. It's a cool card. It's a nifty card that has like a solid generic effect. I'm just not sure it's good enough in decks that aren't Centurion and don't have the specific synergy with this card that you're going to want, but we'll take a look at this card regardless. So let us get into this thing. Let's see what we're looking at here. This is Enigmaster Packbit. By the way, I love his design. He looks so cool. He is a level 8 water cyber synchro effect monster. 2900 attack, 2500 defense. He is completely generic for a Synchro 8, any tuner plus one or more non-tuners. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. The first effect reads, if this card is synchro summoned or sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls or one monster in your graveyard, discard one card, and if you do, place that target face-up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. Second effect, during either player's turn, while this card is treated as a continuous trap, you can special summon one face-up monster card from your spell and trap zone. So, really solid, really cool card, honestly. And I don't think it should be much surprise to anyone why this card is like seen specifically like a Centurion card, right? It gives you the ability to place other cards in the spell and trap zone. If he gets placed in the spell and trap zone, he's able to summon himself. He can actually summon anything from the spell and trap zone, but specifically being able to summon himself to trigger his other effect as like a quick effect on the opponent's turn is pretty solid there. Just like the utility here, right? Like this card's either helping you set up more of your engine or it's pretty decent removal. Taking something and placing it in the spell and trap zone is low-key kind of nice because unless your opponent has a specific card available to them, like Droplet, that lets them like send any card from the field to the graveyard to like do something. Now, that does become a little bit more annoying because like the Sinful Spoils engine may start be running around a lot more popular very soon because Diabellstar, I believe, sends any card from hand or field to grave, so that kind of gives them a way to remove it, but it's still removal nonetheless. Like, even if that happens, they're still having their monster like leave the field, sent to grave. But placing something in the spell and trap zone is kind of nice because stuff that floats doesn't float in the spell and trap zone. Stuff that maybe if it's an excuse me. Maybe if it's an extra deck monster that they would just want to make again, it's not going back to the extra deck, so they can't just make it again if that's the only copy. So there's some nifty bonus to being able to, with that type of removal. But all in all, it's a cool card. Now, I think I'm at a place with this card where I still want to see one more main deck monster for Centurion to really make full use of this card, and I'll tell you why. So here's the first thing. Technically, we can do some interesting setups with this card turn 1, where you could take Primera plus Trudea into this card turn 1, use this card to place Primera back in the spell and trap zone, so that way Primera can summon on your opponent's turn, and then special itself and synchro with the Packbit to make a Legacia or a different 12 on the opponent's turn, and when you do, you'd be able to like use Legacia's effect to pop something, Packbit to remove another card, and get like 2 interruptions essentially out of that on the opponent's turn. That's kind of cool. The parts I don't like about it is it makes it so the deck loses to more stuff, I think, because you just have that Primera. You probably you're not guaranteed to have Trudea because you would have had to synchro with her, so she might be just chilling in grave. And then if your Legacia doesn't live till the next turn, it's not replacing those later. So it feels like you're kind of getting cooked by one Cosmic, which, you know, Cosmic's still a problem for this deck regardless, but still, I think it makes it even tougher for the deck to play around with Cosmic. Secondly, and this is actually my bigger problem with the line right now with doing that, is you're kind of losing a lot of value turn 1. So you would use every combo you do goes through the field spell, right? Because you need to get the monsters in rotation. That's how you do it. When you go through the field spell, you discard a card. But the whole thing was you make Legacia turn 1 because you draw a card for free off Legacia. That mitigates the discard for the field spell. So you break even at least. And then Primera searches the plus, right? And then you make another plus card on the opponent's turn, hopefully a second Legatia, so you draw again, right? And you keep the resources rolling. If you go for the Pack-a-Bit line, not only are you discarding a card off the field spell, but you also have to discard a card off of Pack-a-Bit as well, and you don't get a draw until you maybe make Legatia on your opponent's turn. So, you know, your 1-card combo supposedly now is like a 3-card combo, and you're only going to have 2 cards in hand if you do this 1-card combo, because you would have had to discard 2 cards. Now, maybe the solution is you play an engine with this. You know, people talked about Horus. I think Eldritch has some cool synergy here. You play cards that want to be discarded anyway, so they make up their value when they're discarded, so that helps, obviously. But that's definitely something to keep in mind. I think that's just something to keep in mind early on. I think, like, if we got one more level 4 extender, specifically another tuner, because that would be even better, because then it gives us the potential to end with like Primera and another tuner in the spell and trap zone, so that way even if our opponent has a Cosmic Cyclone, they can only hit one of them and you'd still have the other tuner to be able to play. I would really love to see that. And plus it gives this card, so this is what I want. I don't think the deck has the capability right now, unless you play a supplementary engine to give you another level 4 tuner, to make this. What I want to do is I want to make this card, and then I want to make Legatia in the same turn, because I want to use this card's effect to like place something back, and then I want to make Legatia and put this guy back in the spell and trap zone when he's sent to the graveyard. And then Legatia puts Primera, so that way you have Legatia, you got the draw, you already have his big body to play defense for you as well. But then on the opponent's turn, this card can summon, and then Primera can summon and synchro you into a 12 on the opponent's turn. You cannot do that right now just because we only have Primera, and all of the Centurion monsters can only be special summoned once per turn. That's one of the problems with the deck, that it feels like they need one more monster, because it feels like their ceiling is really capped off in the fact that you only have 3 monsters that can only summon once per turn. And one of them's an 8, one of them's a 4, and one of them's a 4 tuner. You need one more tuner there, I think. But, you know, feel free to let me know if I'm wrong. Like, this is just me reading this card legit like 15 minutes ago and just trying to think in my head how this works. I haven't even been able to play the deck yet. It's still not coming out for another month and a half. So, no, just a month. Just barely a month. But still, really, really interesting card. It's definitely going to find a place in the deck regardless. It's a solid just removal tool. We were talking about how the deck doesn't have an 8, and this card kind of fits that mold, especially if they get more support down the line. The only weird thing is it doesn't have Centurion in the name, and that's kind of annoying, because, like, what would have been cool is Legatia can like place the whole archetype can only place Centurion monsters in the spell and trap zone, right? So that's kind of awkward, is that like you could synchro off of this guy, but like if you're not placing itself, he's just kind of he's going to do one removal or one thing to place another monster, and then like he's kind of done, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. Cool card though, a lot of good synergy with the archetype. It feels like it's just an inch away from being like a crucial part for the archetype, but we just need to see like 1 or 2 new Centurion cards that give them a little bit more ability to like push into this card easier, for sure. So we'll see, but really, really cool stuff nonetheless. Keep an eye on this guy. I'm definitely picking him up regardless. He just reads like one of those cards that's gonna come up at some point. Even if it's not Centurion, it's just a good card in a vacuum, and we'll take it. So, yeah, I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Sorry this video went a little long, but I kind of got into the nitty-gritty with the Centurion combo lines and stuff. But let me know your thoughts down below on this card. Do you think it's good enough with Centurions right now, or do you kind of agree with me? Do you think we need to wait for the next wave of Centurion cards to kind of make this card fully worth it? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. But still a cool generic card nonetheless. I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff from me down the line. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.